All right. What's up, everybody? Um, this will be a more interesting slash fun video. Um, maybe. Let's talk about Trump versus DeSantis. There's a big movement in um, the conservative realm in Republicans um, about whether we should support Trump in 2024 or the newcomer, the rising star, Ron DeSantis. So I'm like, let's talk about that. That'd be an interesting, fun little video to talk about. Um, whose side are you on? Before we go any further, write in the comments who you think right now. Because here's the problem: in 2 years, um, it's going to be different. It'll be a different question. It'll be different answers. So it's fun to joke around and like talk about it. And like, oh, I think this, I think that. But one of the problems is, you know, there's a lot to factor in. Like for all we know, Trump, he's getting up there in age. Like he could have a stroke or heart attack or something before then, and might not even be around. Or like he could just be um, a lot more. Um, he could end up starting to show signs of his age, like Biden is, and that would totally change the game if he starts to mentally decline. I hope not. We'll see. But let's get into it. So, Ron DeSantis versus Trump. So, I think just talking about like who would win in a match, my money's on Trump. Everybody, even the conservatives, said that he couldn't do it in 2016, but then he did. I think that I think that even Ron DeSantis is going to be hesitant to go up against Trump. I think he's placed himself very strategically in a way that he could step up and become the prez in 2024. But it's way too early for either of them to announce. Like you don't announce this early. Um, so it's a bit much to announce now, but um, I wouldn't be surprised if he threw his hat in the ring just to see how it goes. But if Trump runs, I honestly don't. I kind of hope that DeSantis will just let it go, um, because he seems to agree with Trump on a lot of stuff. And what I don't want to do is to see a knockdown, smackdown of Ron DeSantis for a year or two, because the guy seems pretty good. He's got his head on straight. It was kind of brutal to watch 2016. Trump knocked down all the other contestants. Some of them were great. It was nice to see them get knocked down a step. But I kind of like Ted Cruz, and he got blasted. I will say, I think Ted Cruz has gotten a lot better after that. He's a lot less polished and more like, you know, genuine, it seems. So he might do more of a polished talk later on, but he seems like I'm just gonna, hang out with the guys and tell you what I think, which I think is great. I like the less polished. He just seemed like someone who lies. I don't think he was. I just think that he seemed that way to like a lot of people. I know some people who didn't really like the way he presented himself, but that's beside the point. So I think, personally, I think Ron DeSantis is the better candidate. Um, he's got a lot of the pros for Trump in that he's willing to fight the left. He's willing to stand up for good things. He's willing to use the government to the government power that he's given to effect change in a legal way. I think that's great, but he also doesn't have the mouth that Donald Trump does. And so when Ron DeSantis speaks, sometimes it's off the cuff, but usually it's well refined. Um, and I like that. He's thought through what he's gonna say before he says it. He doesn't just say wildly crazy things like Trump does. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Trump for that. It's great. You never know what the man's gonna say. He may just make some crazy allegation, which is just hilarious to watch. He is a showman after all. But I think that Ron DeSantis is a better choice than Trump, personally. Now, I will say, if Trump runs, I'll vote for him. I think that Trump. I didn't like him in 2016, because he was a wild card. I was like, so in the primaries, I was like, why is everybody going for Trump? Like, I agree with a lot of what he says, but he has no history. There's no guarantee that we'll actually get what we're looking for. But I also didn't want to be like one of the never Trumpers. That was a bit extreme. And in the end, I was just like, well, it's him or Hillary. You really only got one choice in that. And I was like, well, God, I don't know. Like, I've voted third party before, so, but I was like, I'd rather vote for somebody that's at least claiming to be pro-life. And so that was really the issue for me. And we'll say it paid off, Roe v. Wade has been defeated, praise the Lord. And, yeah, and I might not agree with everything that Trump did, and certainly not everything he said, but I think he was one of the best presidents, certainly the best in my lifetime. So I think that he has earned like a third term. JK. He I think that earns him a second term in office. So I think that if he runs, I'll probably vote for him. We'll see. It looks like he's going to run now. So can he beat Ron DeSantis? That's a question. I think there's still enough support. I think there's a lot of people who are like me. I'm a loyalist. Like, I'm loyal to people, or I try to be. I think there's a lot of people who are loyal to him because he's done a lot of great things for the country, even though Biden's undone a lot of that. So I think that Trump would probably win against DeSantis, because one of the things with DeSantis is he's not had somebody really slug it out with him. Like, at least not that I've seen. And also, like, he is somewhat of a wild card as far as I know on foreign policy. I don't know what his foreign policy is. I think as far as like his policy in America, I think it's great. But I don't know what his foreign policy is. So that's going to be interesting. That'll certainly factor into the equation. But I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure that it's nothing crazy. I guess we'll find out before too long. But it's fun to think about. I like both of these guys. I wouldn't mind seeing a Trump DeSantis ticket if DeSantis could handle Trump. That would be pretty interesting. I don't know if he can, but if he could handle being second fiddle to Trump, I think it would be awesome because he'd be the VP and he can actually do stuff. I think that if he seems to be one of those guys that would actually do important things as the vice president, as opposed to like every other vice president we've ever had who does almost nothing. Although I don't know if Trump would really support him. I would like to see also, like, I think it would be interesting. Wouldn't mind seeing Trump repair things with Mike Pence and see if he would be VP again. I know that he criticized him and called him out for everything, but it's Trump. Trump criticizes everybody and calls everybody out for nonsense. So I think that the two. I think it would be good a good sign to the Republicans that are critical about Trump if Trump would make Mike Pence his VP. But if he made DeSantis his VP, that would that'd work too, I guess. Everybody would probably vote for him at that point, or maybe not everybody, but many people. So it's pretty interesting, to think about which one, might be the next candidate for the Republicans. Is there somebody that I've left out? See, I wouldn't mind Ted Cruz running again. He seems like a really strong candidate, although he might make a good Supreme Court guy too. And maybe that's a better place for him because he's just. I listen to his podcast with Michael Knowles all the time, and I've grown a better understanding of how the Supreme Court operates based on that, and I think that's pretty helpful. But I don't know. We have some other good candidates too, but unlike the Democrats who have basically nobody that anybody likes, they we have a somewhat of a field. What I don't want to see is a bunch of these basically Democrat and Republican clothes running. Although it might be fun to see, Trump knock them around again. Like, if Liz Cheney runs against Trump, that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. I would, I would pay money for that ticket, or to watch that debate. That would be great. The SmackDown would be epic. But anywho, I think our career is basically done, so it's whatever. At least in the Republican Party. So let me know what you think. Are you Trump or DeSantis? Do you think which one do you think will win? Why? Why do you think they'll win? Let's talk about it and have fun. We've got 2 years. Things could change. It's not a big deal in my mind. I mean, I do want to see the country be saved. But at this point, it's just speculation, so there's no point in really, having hardline sides. But if you disagree, let me know. I want to hear why you think one's better than the other. So I'll catch you next time. Peace.